Greetings from Professor Peter Vakunta in the United States of America. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I come to you today to talk about the topic that is very close to my heart, and that problem is the Ambazonian question. Friends in the diaspora have asked me this question, a zillion times. What is up with Ambazonians in Cameroon? Why are they rebellious? Now, I see this, when I get questions like this, I'd see that as teaching moments. And I utilize such opportunities to teach people who want to know something about Cameroon. And here's what I tell them. Anybody who asks me the question, what is up with Ambazonians in Cameroon? And why are they rebellious? I say to them, when you're born in a country where you are treated at all times as a second-class citizen, you have no alternative to rebellion. When you are born and raised in a country where your inherited language, the language you inherited from the colonial masters, in our case, the English language, is treated as second fiddle, you have no alternative to rebellion. When you are born in a country where you are constantly referred to as Le Bamenda, Mon Bamenda, meaning this foolish man from Bamenda, you have no alternative but to resort to rebellion. When you are born in a country where you are constantly referred to as Le Biafra, meaning this guy from Biafra, a country that is neighboring to Cameroon, Nigeria, you have no alternative to rebellion. When you are born in a country where the majority uses the contraption of tribal politics, or what I call ethnocracy, to flout the rights of the minority with impunity, you have no right, you have no alternative but to resort to rebellion. When you are born in a country where jobs are given to people who speak French first, you have no alternative but to resort to rebellion. So these are some of the issues, ladies and gentlemen, that constitute what I call the Ambazonian question. I've spoken at conferences about the Ambazonian question. I've written books on the Ambazonian question. And if that is of interest to anybody, I will be giving you a list of books that I've written on the Ambazonian question. But suffice it to say at this juncture that the Ambazonian question is not something that just surfaced from nowhere. It is something that has its genesis in the post-colonial contraption that exists in existence in Cameroon right now. And truth be said, it is true that violence does beget violence. It is like the law of karma. To every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And that is what is happening in Cameroon right now. Anglophones have taken it for too long. And they are now saying to their Francophone brothers and sisters, enough is enough. We are telling you that this marriage has broken down irreparably, and we are prepared to go our own separate ways. And so that is it fundamentally, basically, in very simple terms, what constitutes the Ambazonian question. Something that has now snowballed into what we know that is happening right now in Cameroon is the Ambazonian genocide, the Ambazonian Revolution. So that precisely is what is up with the Ambazonians in Cameroon. They've had enough of domination. They've had enough of discrimination. They have had enough of being treated as if they don't matter in Cameroon. They've had enough of kowtowing to the dictates of the Francophone majority. That, to my mind, constitutes what is going on today in Cameroon. And it is something that our leaders have to face squarely and resist the temptation to play the politics of the ostrich. Because you can play the politics of the ostrich as long as you want. When you lift your head up from the sand, the problem is going to be there staring at you in the face. So it is time to act. It is not time to play the ostrich, to pretend that the problem is not there and hope that the problem will give way or will go away. The time is now for people to act. And so I call upon the leaders of Cameroon, for those of them who still have brains to utilize, to face the music and dance and come to some kind of sanity and do something that will avoid the conflagration that is in the making in Cameroon, the time bomb that is about to explode in Cameroon. So I'm going to end at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, and give you a list of my books, the books I've written about the Ambazonian Question. The first book that you want to read that I've written is titled A Nation at Risk, My Personal Narrative of the Anglophone Question. That's the first book I've written on the Ambazonian Question. The second book I've written on the Ambazonian Question is fictional. It's titled Ntarukun, Poetry for the Downtrodden. Okay, so that's my second book. The third book that I've written, that deals with the Ambazonian Question in Cameroon, is titled The Paradise of Idiots. It's a poetic anthology. And the fourth book that I've written that has to do with the Ambazonian Revolution is written in French. It's titled Camp Franglais pour un renouveau angolais. Another book that I've written, which is in French, is titled Requiem pour Angola en camp franglais. I have a novel out there that deals with the Ambazonian Question. It's titled No Love Lost. And the other book that I've written too that is also literary or fictional is titled Magnum Opus Tribute to Ntarukun. So these are some of the works that I've done on the Ambazonian Question. Of course, I almost forgot another one. I have a book that is titled Straddling the Mungo, which is also a book of poetry that underscores the problems that we are now facing in Cameroon. So I don't want to make this. I don't want to make this video very long because it's going to be fatiguing for many people who are not used to listening for too long. So I'm going to stop at this juncture, and I just want to sound a warning to people that are listening to us, that to say that the Ambazonian Question is not a figment of anybody's imagination. It is a snowballing of pent-up emotions, of problems that have been swept under the carpet for too long, and it is time for us to face the situation, look it in the face, and solve the problem rather than try to run away from problems. Because no outsider, and I underscore this, no outsider will come to solve these problems for us. The honors is ours. It behooves us to look at the problem squarely in the face and resolve it through our own means. If it takes a national conference or a civil war, we have to solve the problem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me, and have a great day, everybody.